What's the matter?
When you get your nose in those papers of yours, you wouldn't hear a cannon going off. In case you didn't notice, we have a flat tire.
Uh-oh. I told the Whirlybirds I'd be at the office in 10 minutes. We're supposed to take off at 9 o'clock.
And I want you to make the appointment on time, dear. I want you home for our dinner party tonight.
There's a phone over there. I'll go and call.
No, you go on with your work. I'll call them.
All right, dear. Thanks.
Whirlybirds. Oh, hello, Mrs. Eldridge.
There's been a little trouble. I was driving my husband to your office, and we've had a flat tire.
Well, where are you, Mrs. Eldridge? Yes, I know where that is. Look, there are no problems. There's plenty of open space around there. We'll fly out, pick up your husband in 10 minutes.
That would be wonderful. He'd like to get to Hartford on time because we... No!
What's the trouble?
No!
Hello? Hello, Mrs. Eldridge? Mrs. Eldridge? She screamed. We better get out there.
Out where?
6 Points Cafe, Highway 74.
What's going on here?
Hit and run.
Mr. Eldridge hurt?
Yeah, now listen. We set up roadblocks from not until after I got here, so the hit and run car probably got through. I want you fellas to take a look from the air.
Sure thing.
Maroon four-door sedan, right front end damaged.
Right.
What's your radio frequency?
113.1.
All right, we'll keep contact.
Stop, Dad. You should have gone back. Be quiet, son. I'll take care of this.
Helicopter 3 Bravo to Lieutenant Hughes. Helicopter 38 Bravo to Lieutenant Hughes. Come in, please.
This is Hughes. Go ahead.
I think we spotted the car, Lieutenant, traveling west on Highway 34, about 3 miles west of the turnoff.
Okay. Stay with it. Out.
Bravo to Lieutenant Hughes. Helicopter Copter 38 Bravo to Lieutenant Hughes.
This is Hughes. Go ahead.
The car turned off the highway south on Oak Street. It's now turning into a driveway. Over.
Roger. Hover over the house. I should be there in a couple of minutes. Don't land till you see me.
Wilco, out.
And I still say you should have stopped.
I still say I'll handle this. Now stop whimpering, Bob, and come on in the house.
Crumpled fender in the garage is as good as a signed confession.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Hughes, Police Department.
Come in. Come in.
That car out in the garage been involved in an accident. Where's the driver?
Oh, that little accident?
I said, where's the driver?
Oh, he's right here. Bob Waters, Jr.
Oh.
In person.
You hit the car?
Yes, sir. It's just a little nick. Look, I'll call the insurance
Just
company.
a minute. How do you know it was a little nick or a big nick? You didn't stop.
Well, no, sir, but the insurance company will
Never
find
mind
out
the insurance company. Did you ever hear there was a law against hit-and-run driving?
Well, yes, sir, but...
There are no buts about it. You're under arrest.
Yes, sir.
You own the car?
No, sir.
Who does?
My father.
Is he here now?
No, he's in Chicago on business.
Anybody in a car with you?
No, sir. I was driving alone.
Alone? There were two people in the car.
That's right.
How about it?
No, sir. I was driving alone.
Well, it doesn't make any difference. If you were driving a car, you're the man I want. Come on, let's go.
Look, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
Can't I just pay you for the damages? Well, I'll give you the money right now.
Money for what?
Well, for the damages to the car.
What about the man in the car?
What man? Was there a man in the car?
He's in the hospital now.
I didn't know there's
There's
anybody.
a lot of things you didn't know, including the fact that hit-and-run driving can get you in a lot of trouble.
I still say there were two people in that car.
No. Just me.
Well, you're the one I want. Come on.
Come in. All right, I want you to act fast.
Well, what is the trouble, Mr. Waters?
Nothing you can't handle, Garland.
Well, suppose we begin at the beginning.
Suppose we begin where I want to begin, and suppose you stop interrupting me. I'm not some witness you've got on the witness stand.
I'm sorry, Mr. Waters.
I had a little accident this morning in the car.
Oh, no.
You want to hear about it, or you're going to make comments?
I'm sorry.
I hit a parked car. I didn't stop.
You didn't stop. But if the police find out about
Police
it...
have already found out about it, only they don't know I was driving. They think it was Bob.
Bob?
He told the police he was driving. He's been arrested.
Well, why on earth would you let him do a thing like that?
There's a fine question for my own lawyer to ask me. Have you forgotten that I'm on probation with a 5-year suspended sentence for reckless driving?
No, Mr. Waters, but Bob's only a boy.
Bob is going to be all right. You're going to see to that. Get him out of there and get him back here within an hour. And I don't mean just a habeas corpus. Get this thing killed.
Well, that may take a little money.
With all the salaries I'm paying our incorruptible officials?
Well, this is a different...
All right. All right. Whatever it costs, take care of it.
Very well, Mr. Waters. Are you sure nobody saw you driving?
I don't think so. Anyway, Bob told the police I was in Chicago.
Oh? Well, then you better be in Chicago.
What are you talking about?
This is really going to take money, but you've got to go through with it. Now, you've been at the Millmore Hotel in Chicago. I'll take care of that end of it. I'll fly you out of town by private plane, so you better pack a bag.
Why do I have to do all this?
Just in case the police think to check Bob's story about your being in Chicago.
Sounds like a lot of trouble.
I should imagine you're used to trouble. You're not worried about the money, are you?
All right, get going. Get Bob out.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for your help, boys.
Anytime, Fred.
Wait a minute. Lieutenant, what we said in our statement about there being 2 people in the car, isn't that important? Doesn't it mean anything?
You want it to mean something?
Well, it could mean that the boy's lying.
So?
Well, if he's lying, it's obvious
Look,
that...
the boy was driving a car. That's all that interests me.
Aren't you interested in investigating this case?
Is that supposed to mean what it sounds like?
No, I'm sorry, Fred.
Look, Chuck, I got a lot of work to do in this job, and I can't afford to waste any more time.
Waste?
Do you know who Mr. Waters is?
I've heard of him.
A lot of people have heard of him. You know what's going to happen in this case?
What?
Nothing. Mr. Waters' attorney's already got a habeas corpus. You'll have that kid out of here in a few minutes, and that'll be the end of it.
What about the trial?
There won't be any trial. The whole thing will mysteriously disappear. Oh, I know, it'll take a lot of money, but the money will come from someplace that'll never be missed.
And that's the way it is?
That's the way it is.
Look, I may be a babe in the woods.
No, I'm the babe in the woods.
How do you mean?
I'm still trying to be an honest cop. All right, fellas. I'll see you later.
Okay, so long. Well, Lieutenant, let's have the boy's property. He's going home.
Oh, Mr. Garland, you didn't waste much time on this one, did you?
Let's have it, Lieutenant.
Certainly, Counselor. Certainly. Hello. Yes. Oh, I see. Well, thanks.
The boy is waiting, Lieutenant.
He's not going anywhere.
What are you talking about? I have a habeas corpus
There's been
here.
a lot of changes since you got that habeas corpus, Counselor. That was the hospital on the phone. The man in the car, Mr. Eldridge, just died. The charge is now felony manslaughter.
What are you doing here?
How are things in Chicago?
Answer my question. What are you doing here?
We better talk inside.
Well?
I can't kill this case, Mr. Waters.
What? A simple little hit-and-run case?
Well, it's not just that anymore. It's felony manslaughter. The man died. Your son's going to jail, Mr. Waters.
For how long?
Oh, I don't know. I'll do the best I can. There's nothing wrong with his driving record.
Then it'll just be a short term?
And that's all right with you? His going to jail?
Look, don't make me any speeches on how to treat my son. I've given that boy everything.
I'm sure you have. Everything that money could buy.
Really, Counselor? I didn't know there was anything you wouldn't do for money.
There was, once.
How interesting. You must tell me about your youth sometime. Right now, you've more important things to do.
Yes, sir.
Bob's going to be all right. I'll give him a new car, boat, anything he wants when he gets out. Don't worry about it.
I was, worrying about you.
Me?
That's what I'm paid to do, isn't it?
What's there to worry about?
Those two young chaps that run the helicopter service, they get on the witness stand and stick to their story that there were two people in that car. This whole thing is liable to lead right back to you.
Everybody has his price. You know that, Counselor. I shouldn't imagine the price for a couple of helicopter jockeys should be very high. Find out what it is and pay it.
Well, yes, sir. We'll meet you 4:30 Thursday in Woodside. Come in. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Say, you're Mr. Garland, Bob Waters' lawyer, aren't you?
That's correct.
Well, what can we do for you?
Well, I think it's more a matter of what I can do for you.
Oh?
Yes, I represent Mr. Waters, Bob's father, and he's asked me to speak to you.
I thought he was in Chicago.
Oh, but he's back. He's heard about the part you boys played in this case, and he's had some investigation made of you, and he's quite impressed.
Well, thank you.
Oh, Mr. Waters is a man of fast decisions, and he's usually right. He'd like to put you on retainer for the next couple of months, and maybe longer.
Oh, what does that mean?
He will pay you $5,000.
$5,000 for 2 months' work?
That's correct.
Look, Chuck,
I think it's a fine idea. You've got a deal.
Excellent. Of course, you understand, as Mr. Waters' employees, you'll do nothing contrary to his interests.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Well, I'm glad you understand, because the continuation of your employment depends on your understanding that.
Look, Mr. Garland, just what do we have to do to earn this money?
Oh, take Mr. Waters on some trips, in case he wants to go on a trip, by helicopter.
Chuck, we can't tie ourselves
No,
up.
no. I think it's a real good deal.
Well, I thought you'd see it that way, so I took the liberty of making out a check for 2 months.
Fine, thank you.
Well, thank you. And good day.
Good day. Well, it's a lot of money, huh?
Boy, I sure don't like the smell of it.
Wasn't planning to smell it. I wasn't even planning to deposit it.
So Bob Waters is out on bail, huh?
That's right.
You know, the thing that bugs me about this case is nobody wants to find out who the other person in the car was.
What do you mean by nobody?
Bob Waters says nobody was in the car. His attorney doesn't want the question investigated. Even you don't seem to be too interested.
Well, I'd be interested if I thought it meant anything, and if I really thought there was somebody in the car with him.
There was, believe me.
Why doesn't Mr. Waters want the matter looked into?
What makes you think he doesn't?
I'll answer that question, but first tell me, what has Mr. Waters got against people riding in automobiles?
Well, if nobody rode in cars, he wouldn't be sitting out a 5-year suspended sentence for reckless driving.
What? You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. What makes you think he doesn't want it investigated?
This.
What's that for?
For losing our memories, for not believing our eyes, and for keeping our mouths shut.
Well, it seems to me you're doing a lot of talking for a couple of guys who are being paid to keep their mouths shut.
If you put 2 and 2 together, you get 4. If we don't put 2 and 2 together, we get 5,000.
That's pretty fancy arithmetic.
I like 4 better than 5,000.
Well, I like 4, too. It's a nice number.
It's a handy number. I think it tells us who was in the car with Bob.
I think it tells us who was driving the car.
That's what I thought you'd think.
I wonder how Mr. Waters is on arithmetic. I think I'll drop over and find out.
Can we give you a lift?
You going that way?
We have to.
Why?
To return a check that was given to us.
Yeah, by accident.
I'd like to talk to Mr. Waters. Just say Johnny wants to talk to him. Okay, Johnny, keep your mouth shut.
Yes, Mr. Waters? I see.
Well, you certainly botched that up. I'm in a fine spot now. Oh, no, I'm not going to say anything to Hughes. I'm not even going to be here when he comes. I'm going up to my place in the country. Now, you get this thing settled and get it settled right. Bob, how'd you like to go up to the country for a couple of days?
Well,
Come on, it'll do you good. Do us both good.
but you had a board of directors. A little nervous. I'd like a couple of days rest.
I don't want to drive myself. I'd like you to drive me. We'll take your car.
Okay, Dad.
Come on, let's go.
I think that car just came out of Waters' driveway.
Stay with it, just in case.
Right.
How many people in the car?
2. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you see, we weren't imagining things.
Where do you suppose they're going?
I don't know. They're probably out for an ice cream soda. Waters had no way of knowing I was coming out to see him. He's probably not in that car.
Then why are we tailing it?
Because I'm a stubborn, inquisitive cop, and I find it a rare privilege to do my legwork by helicopter. Step up. What? Step up.
Moving now.
Whoever's driving that car has gone crazy. He's liable to kill himself. Burned to death. Bobby, all right?
Yeah, I guess so. What were we running away from?
You want to tell him?
There are lots of things I want to tell him.
It's all right, Dad. I understand.
Does he?
Like there's some things you can't buy with money. I think we better get him to a hospital.
What about you, Dad?
No, I'm going to stay with the lieutenant, Bob. I've got an unpaid debt I want to settle.
We're radio for a police car, Lieutenant.
Thanks, boys.
Right.